Wake up to reality, American people. Yes, you're looking at one citizen who has discreetly decided to not like America. In fact, I regret being a U.S. citizen in the United States. Why? Because people are pathetic. They're pathetic. Why? Because one, they lie. They steal. They use the legal system to their advantage. Do you understand? People like myself, we don't give a flying fuck about violence. We don't give a flying fuck about using drugs. We don't give a flying fuck about doing anything to no one. And I'm going to tell you this, and you better listen, because you need to wake up to reality. Not every man is interested in being violent to a woman and or children. Do you understand? Obviously not, because you're too fucking pathetic and ridiculous. Now, I'm going to keep my name confidential because I have a right to protect myself from false prosecution and wrong prosecution. People like myself have never been in prison, have never been criminally convicted of any crimes ever in our lifetime. Now, everything started December 27th, 1974. I was born Friday, 4:12 a.m. in the morning. Now, I was born of relatives or father and mother who were known psychologically disturbed people in the head. Okay, first of all, my mother is a mental health defective person. Just because she's mentally ill does not constitute in any way, shape, or form that I suffer from mental illness. Now, the whole story started out in May 18th of 1981. I was 6 years old and placed in an institution at 6 years old. Okay, how does child abuse turn into criminal behavior? I'm not the child abuser. I'm the victim of child abuse, or was the victim of child abuse. For 14 years, institutional staff members at Topeka State Hospital for 7 years would sit there and do misconduct. They would conduct assaults. They would enforce and encourage two clients to fight. I was 6 years old. How many 14-year-olds do you think is okay to legally assault and batter to a child who is 6 years old? Good question. Children and Family Services, formerly known as the SRS, Social Rehabilitation Services of Kansas, Columbus, Kansas. Now, where do they get the dictation that if mother's mentally ill, father's mentally ill, the child's mentally ill? Where do they dictate that at? I was placed in 2 foster homes. One foster home had kids who were violently abusive, throwing me into a swimming pool at the age of 5 to 6 years old. That's not normal in any way, shape, or form. Those who say that Children Family Services or Children's Services Department are all government and that they're about protecting children, I'm going to mistakenly correct you. Children Family Services are nothing but fucking coward bitches who want to fuck shit up. They lie. They manipulate. They do it to sit there and antagonize children. Those are the facts. Now, May 18th to August 23rd, 1995, I was placed in an institutionalized lifestyle. Now, where does a child have choices or decisions to make where he's going to be? Tim and Sue Colley were supposed to adopt me back in 1981 or 1982. The Children's Services Department totally said no. Okay, why in the hell would you sit there and say no to a perfectly good home that was provided? There was a bedroom made, a bed there, toys, all kinds of things. Now, Children's Services of Columbus, Kansas and or Wichita, Kansas decided to say, no, you cannot adopt this child. He's too old. It is never too old to adopt a child. Now, the institution, Topeka State Hospital, not only initiated a lot of violence towards people like myself, they initiated sexual crimes against people like myself. And then what they do is they turn it around and say, oh, the child's violent. Really? A 6-year-old knows nothing about sex. A 6-year-old knows nothing about no and yes and consensual sex and whatever, whatever. They don't know that. They don't understand the concept of sex yet. Now, let me tell you, little sons of bitches, this. Wake the fuck up to reality. You don't live in a man's head, so there's no fucking way that you know what the fuck's going on. Psychologists, you don't know what the fuck's really going on. Just because someone expresses the past to you doesn't mean they're having issues of the past. You sick fuck. Now, Parsons State Hospital and Training Center, Parsons, Kansas. Okay? Now, those sons of bitches are really reckless. You have Alberta, Ivan Smith, Mike Dixon, Curtis Landis, Mark Hopper, Mark Vols, Mark Pound, Chris Hurley, Marcia Bayless. All of them people got away with first-degree assault and battery when I was at the Parsons State Hospital and Training Center. Then they want to sit there and antagonize, push, shove, bang your head up against the wall and then say you're being violent. In no way was I ever violent at any point. Now, Jerry Ray, who is now the director of Parsons State Hospital and Training Center, his little faggot ass needs an ass kicking. Why? Because he had no business conducting misconduct. First of all, I was never criminally convicted of a crime in my entire life from 6 years old to 20 years old. Now, August 23rd, 1995, I was released from Parsons State Hospital and Training Center, discharged from Parsons State Hospital and Training Center, and I was discharged from the welfare care of Children and Family Services, which was formerly known as the SRS office of Columbus, Kansas. Now, a year later, before I moved to California, I was living in Joplin, Missouri. Okay? No criminal arrests there related to drugs, domestic violent crimes, alcoholism. There was never any arrest in between there. August 23rd, 1995, I moved to Joplin, Missouri with my birth mother. My birth mother was a fucking idiot. She isn't smart enough. She ain't smart like I am. I know the difference between child abuse. I know the difference between child neglect. I know everything I need to know. So I don't need a goddamn judge telling me who I am. I don't need a goddamn judge or a cop up in my ass asking me stupid fucking questions. Those are the bottom line. Now, December 8th, 1995, after I'd been discharged from the Welfare Care of Children's Services, formerly known SRS, Social Rehabilitation Services, I moved to California. Concord, California. When I moved there, I had no FBI record. I had no criminal conviction record. I had nothing on me. Everything was clean and clear. And all my juvenile records were absolutely sealed. Do any of you motherfuckers know what sealed is? Of course not. You're too fucking stupid to know it. My records and juvenile court case was eliminated, terminated, because none of it was true. Video 1.